Hey guys, so I got a comment yesterday and I've gotten this question asked on multiple videos, multiple Reddit posts, and I can't believe I've never made a video on this. I don't think I have, but basically the question is, what do I, like, I have these thoughts, so I've got my manifestation going, I'm like in the zone or whatever, but then I have these thoughts that pop up, like these intrusive thoughts that it isn't going to happen, or thoughts that, you know, just in opposition, just things will just pop into my head. And it seems like these things are random, but they're not. What those are is just the little offshoots of a deeper belief that are just naturally coming out the way they do, the way, you know, your beliefs create thoughts. So if you're having these like things pop into your head, these negative thoughts, or like one thing that I used to experience, and I was thinking about this last night after answering this yesterday, I have not had this happen in at least a couple of years now. So truly, getting rid of the belief that makes these thoughts happen will make them stop. But basically, I used to like have thoughts just like, not necessarily even that the thing I wanted wasn't going to happen, just other things like, you know, I'd start thinking about myself getting into a car wreck, or somebody I love getting cancer and dying, or, you know, just something like that, some tragedy happening. These things would just pop into my head. And during the time after I had my second spiritual awakening, which for me was basically just like an instant revelation, sort of like a download of understanding about the nature of reality, which was followed then by, in like a good way, which was then followed by a period of time where basically my whole mental construct was in question and kind of suspended. So I was just kind of living in this state of understanding that this whole thing was being created by my beliefs, and that the truth, like being in touch with the truth that this is all perfect and it's all good and all is well. And during that period of time was when I would notice this happening. And since my beliefs were all kind of up in the air at that point, I was just like, you know, I don't really know what's true and what's not. It was very easy for me to look at that and say, okay, this is coming from a belief that something's always going to happen to ruin everything. You know, other things could just be that, like, if I get too happy, if I get too peaceful, then I'm just asking for it. Or, you know, I'm asking for something to come in and bring me back down to the state of misery that truly deep down, I believe kind of we're all doomed to live in. I could probably, you know, run for a half hour coming up with things that could be causing this, but you have to kind of think about it for yourself. What are your beliefs about your true prospects of really being peaceful and really being okay? Like, do you kind of believe deep down that something bad is always going to happen to you, or that not even something bad is going to happen to you? That's a judgment call. You can get to a point where bad things happen and it doesn't disrupt your peace. So it's not like you get to the point where nothing that you would currently consider to be bad will ever happen. You can get to a point where you're just in the world with the current things that are perceived as being bad as being perceived as just things. So do you believe basically that no matter what, you can never reach that state? Do you kind of have a belief about your own maximum potential for happiness, and that something will always keep you there? Those are the things, those types of beliefs, and probably a lot of other ones you can come up with. Hopefully that just gets you started thinking if you have this issue. I think most people do, until they actually look at it and change it. Do you have a belief like that? Is there something in your operating system that makes you kind of have the, you know, little disruptions to your peace all the time? Do they just naturally come up because of this underlying belief? And basically, you just have to look at whatever that thing is. If you can isolate it and look at it, you just have to decide it's not true. You just have to decide, no, it's not true that something is always going to happen to ruin everything. It's just not. It's just not true. You know, you just have to look at it, make a case for it. This is what I do. You don't have to do this, actually. This is just my way. When I have a belief that I know is causing my experience to suffer, to be less peaceful, I look at it and I just assume first and foremost that it has to be some kind of bullshit mechanism that is, you know, in place to keep me at a certain level of misery, which I've already decided I'm opting out of. So what is that thing? It can't be true. It's just a thing. It's just a part of the programming. So just change it to something else and your experience will be something else. And I make a case for why that thing actually isn't true. So for me, I might start thinking about it. I don't remember what I actually did, but for me, I might start considering the fact that there are lots of people that live long lives without having a tragedy happen to them, say. There are lots of people that live long lives without having a major debilitating illness, or, you know what I mean? That alone right there disproves that it happens to everyone and that it will happen to you. So then, you know, if that leads you to, oh, well, but maybe I'm cursed. Maybe I'm just one of the, you know, you have to kind of clean out the belief system that is allowing these things to grow off of it. The beliefs that are allowing these offshoots to grow off of them. And they'll stop happening. And that's easier said than done. You know, often it's a process. You start uprooting one thing and choosing to believe another thing, choosing to think something else, working it out, and, you know, incorporating something new into your reality. Something new will pop up. Something else in that area will pop up. You keep at it and eventually they'll all be gone. It's that simple. You just work at it and eventually it will all be gone. That's what I've done. There are, I'm sure, many ways to go about this, but this channel is just me sharing my experience. So that's my response always to the intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts that just like pop into your mind, that they seem like they came from nowhere. They're coming from your worldview. It's that simple. If you change your worldview, the thoughts don't happen. They're not just some random thing coming from nowhere. They're certainly not coming from your higher self or God. I can tell you that much. So I hope that helps somebody. Have a great day.